16 and 17, the bottom half of the Chapter 10 study guide, are pretty much the same type of problem. So I'll go ahead and do number 16 here in a second. And then looking below that, 18 and 19 are very similar. One is just asking for annual expenses and one is asking for monthly expenses. So I'll just do one of those. And then I will also do number 20, which is probably the more time-consuming problem out of these three problems. So let's start with 16. And in 16, it says that Max and Tabitha have a monthly combined take-home of $3,750. All right. And moving forward, it says that the housing costs should not be above 35% of your pay. In this particular case, it looks like it's 35% of your take-home pay. So I'm going to take the $3,750 and I'm going to multiply that by the 35% maximum amount to figure out what is the most I should possibly be paying toward my house expenses. And it looks like it's $1,312.50 is the most. Now I'm going to take a look at all of my costs in this particular housing situation, and it looks like there's $878.65, and there's a $52.50, and there's a $266.67, and a $94.52, a $45.03, and a $42.65. And when I add all of those costs up, it's $1,380.02. And so I need to then compare this to how much I said I should be spending. And so I take the amount that I should spend, right? And then I compare that to the amount that I do spend. So if I should spend no more than $1,312.50, but I do spend $1,380.02, it looks like I went over, when I subtract those from each other, it looks like I went over by $67.25. So I want to say here that I'm over by $67.25. I'm over budget. For 18, on 18, there's some similarities in those two problems, but it says Rosa plans to rent an apartment for $650 per month. She estimates that the annual expenses will be shown in the figure here. And then it says, what is her average monthly cost? So if I add up the items in the figure here, I am going to get $4,922. Then I also, on top of that, for number 18, I have the rent, which is $650 per month. So it's $650. And if it's per month, I'm going to have to pay that 12 times for a total of $7,800. So I'm going to take the $7,800. I'm going to add the $4,922 together to find that the grand annual fee will be $12,722 to live there. But the question is, what is the monthly cost? The annual cost is number 19. 18 is asking the monthly cost. So I have to divide this by the number of months in a year, which is obviously 12. And that tells me that the average monthly cost is $1,060.17. $1,060.17 for number 18. 19 is very similar to that. Now let's kind of make some room here because we have to spread out a little bit for number 20 because 20 has is a little bit longer. So it's wanting me to compare if I do a 15-year loan versus I do a 30-year loan, what is the savings over the entire length of the loan? So I need the total payment of this loan if it was 15 years, and I need the total payment if it was 30 years, and I need to combine them. So if I were to do a 15-year loan, I would need my P, my R, and my N. And my P on 15 years is $340,000. My R is 0.06 divided by 12. And my N on the 15 years is 15 times 12, which is 180. This gives me 0.005. So if I were to put that into my monthly payment formula, it would look like this. And when I work that out, I should get a monthly payment on the 15-year of $2,869.11. Then, to find the total payment, I take that amount, I take my $2,869.11, and I'm going to multiply it by the number of payments, which is 180, and the total cost there of this loan is $516,439.80. Now, if I were to do this for 30 years, the only difference in my formula is my P is still 340,000. My N is still 0.005. Oops, I'm sorry, my R is still 0.005. Let's go back and fix that. My R is still 0.005, and my N is now 30 years times 12 payments per year for a total of 360. So if I plugged it into the formula, it would look like this. And when I work that out, my payment would be a little bit lower. It would be a monthly payment of $2,038.47. But when I then find my total payment, my $2,038.47 times 360 payments instead, I would have a grand total of $733,849.20. So I'm really comparing my 15-year total payment to my 30-year total payment. So how much cheaper is my 15-year? Well, if I subtract the 30-year from, and I subtract from that my 15-year, since it's so much cheaper, I want to know how much money do I save? Well, how much cheaper is it? Well, it looks like it's $217,409.40 cheaper if I go with the 15-year loan over the 30-year loan.